This is the Voice of the Land podcast with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Nick Paulus.
Man, it's been a while. Did you miss us? Well, the mics are hot, the cameras are rolling, the hot takes are ready to fly, and we are back. That's right, the Voice of the Land here on the Big Play Network, partnered with LPV Productions. Wow, it has been a while because the words are already fumbling around. That's a great start to this show. But we are live here tonight. I am one of your hosts, Kevin Arnold. Alongside me, as always, my brother, Nick Paulus, and our producer extraordinaire who makes everything go for us behind that proverbial glass. Don't know if I used that word right, but we're sticking with it now because I've done it from the beginning, and we're going to keep going. Peter Tillip on the ones and twos for us tonight. And, of course, we are welcoming everyone back to tuning into the show here tonight. We got a lot to get into, and we are going to get into it very soon. Not a lot of time, but, hey, it's Cleveland sports. There's always a lot to talk about. Of course, we want to thank our sponsor, DP Construction, who will give you the time of day for your concrete construction needs. That's right, DP Construction LLC. Reach out to them. It's getting warm outside. I know that may chill down, but you may have those outdoor patios. You got to get the driveway done, something around the house, around the business. Reach out to these guys. Tyler LaFrada, Uncle Steve, 330-217-4999. That's right, 330-217-4999. They will take care of you. They are Cleveland fans through and through, just like all of us, and they will get the job done right for you. Their Facebook page has every picture picture from every single project they've ever done. And they are beautiful, beautiful projects that they have been able to accomplish for everyone. And they are just getting things started like we are here at the Voice of the Land. And Tyler Frada has so much confidence in what they are going to offer you. He puts his own email right out there for you. You can see it up on the screen right now. But if you're tuning into the audio on Google, Spotify, or Apple during the week as the podcast platform element, you can reach out to him, tylerlafrada@gmail.com. That's tylerlafrada@gmail.com, or Messenger on Facebook. They'll even give you a quote there. Many ways to reach out to them. We trust those guys. We love those guys, and we thank them for being our sponsor here on the Voice of the Land. As we said, we got a lot to get into. Thank you to everyone tuning in. Follow us at VTL_POD, where you can tune into the show. Tune into it on our Facebook page at Voice of the Land, Big Place Facebook and YouTube pages, and Sportscaster app. We already talked about the audio throughout the week, or catch the special clips on social media. You'll get our tags, our social media tags, as our names pop up on the screen. And you can always reach out to LPV Productions across all social media platforms. But it's time to get things started. And boy, the baseball season has been kickstarted, and the Indians are off to a good start at 5-3, first in the AL Central. A lot different than kind of the atmosphere around this team even a little over a week ago when they lost their opener in Detroit. This team is, like we said, 5-3. They're averaging almost 7 runs a game in their wins. And if they, in their losses, only 1.3 runs per game, but they're only giving up less than 3 runs a game, 2.75 runs a game. We knew this team was about pitching, did not see the home run pop in these bats, and that has been kind of the feast or famine type offense this team has been. Question for the listening audience, the viewing audience tonight, and to my partners and my brothers here on the show. Any surprise? Are you surprised by the Indians' start? And are expectations for the Indians changing a little bit in kind of how you're seeing the makeup of this team being put out there early in April? Paulus, I'll start with you.
Right now, it is surprising that they are 5-3. They've won, four in a row now, I believe. Swept the Tigers. So that's what you got to do, especially home games. You absolutely have to sweep teams like the Tigers because they are still the Tigers. They're still going to end 4th or 5th in the Central here for us, and you have to dominate teams like that. And we're pretty damn good doing, stuff like that. Almost let one slip. But no, they're pretty good with doing stuff like that. That being said, our schedule does get much tougher. We're not always going to be playing the Royals and the Tigers there for us coming up. I know that the Yankees and the Reds and all of those teams are right around the corner there for us. That all being said, I am a little surprised with the way that the runs have been sort of coming the last couple of games there for us, especially the big home run pops that we've been seeing. Franmil, I believe, has 4 on the year right now. Doing solid, for the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yep.
Now, obviously, he's not going to be able to keep that pace up, or at least we don't think so. I don't think so. I should say that. But I am looking forward. It does give me some optimism. I was thinking that this team is a 500 team, and I'm still going to stick with that because I think that this pitching is dynamite. We've seen that. And if you can get them a lead, you feel pretty good with not only the starting pitching, but with Karinchak and Clase in the bullpen. I'm all for that. So, keep it going, Indians. I'm really looking forward to the offense and the way that they're producing right now. The pitching is exactly what I thought it would be, dominant as it always is. But we are going to need the little guys to start stepping up. And Cesar Hernandez had an RBI or two with the last game or two here for us, and so hopefully his bat starts picking up because I know he was batting below 100. It was like 091 or something like that.
I was there on Friday night.
Yeah.
And the fiance and I saw that batting average just slowly drop and drop. And I was like, if he doesn't get a hit in this at bat, there's going to be a 0 at the beginning of this batting average. And we've talked about all the time, Cesar Hernandez is a guy last year who
I loved him.
Did so well from the leadoff position. Right now, they're putting Luplow or Gamble or someone who's playing in that center field position more often than not in that leadoff spot. Now, Luplow has been playing pretty well and had a heck of a night. Got a home run taken away from him last night on that replay. But Cesar.
Did you hear what Tito said? He said if the game was closer,
he'd
someone have to throw him out from New York. Yeah, I love that.
And that's the type of guy that Tito is, and that's really the one constant for this team is, and why while you may get frustrated, and I'm one of them. Trust me, I was one of them. I was frustrated those first couple games, those first 2, 3, 4 games.
How couldn't you be?
With this offense, not thinking that the season was over. The people that went to the whole, we lost the first game, the season's over.
I don't want to throw people under the bus, but there were people that were saying we need to trade Shane Bieber because he's.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about. You're not going to out him.
I'm not going to out anyone for that, but because they felt bad for him, and I get it. I felt bad for Shane Bieber, giving up 1 home run and losing that damn game, that home opener, or that opener for him. But keep my mouth shut.
At this point of the season, though, I mean, it's okay if you want to try to qualify that statement by saying, "Oh, I feel bad for the guy." If we get into late July and August, and this team is at the other end of the AL Central, and what this team. Some people think it is, the season already over, yet already being in first in the first week and a half of the season, then maybe, okay, you can say, I feel bad for this guy because he's a Cy Young quality level, Cy Young winning pitcher.
Yeah.
And he's got he's going out. Who is it with the Mets? Is it Syndergaard or
Noah Jacob deGrom?
Jacob deGrom,
the guy that had the losing record,
and won the Cy Young, and I think just happened the other day where he lost and only gave up 1 run in his start.
Yeah,
that's a guy that you feel bad for because you see it consistently with the Mets. If you start seeing that with the Indians, you definitely feel bad for Shane Bieber. But to say to trade a guy or say the season is over, going a little too far. Now, like I said, I was frustrated, but what I knew was all I had to do was look at that dugout, look at the screen shots, the camera shots of Terry Francona, and know that this season is far from over. Even if it's 2 months in and they're kind of playing around 500 baseball, I know that there is still the opportunity for playoff baseball and for this team to be successful, if not win the Central, get into a wild card spot, and allow that pitching to control in a playoff scenario. Because we talked to Bob DiBiasio, and we want to thank him for coming on the show.
Absolutely, yeah.
A couple weeks back. We asked him the question, what is it about Terry Francona working with him that just brings that sense of calm and consistency and day-to-day attitude? It's because the players love him and they love playing for him. That's why he's one of the best managers of all time in baseball, because he understands how to get the best out of guys, even if they're not the best-looking players or roster on paper. He knows how to get the most out of them. It's the sport where guys that are heralded as hitters hit 30% of the time.
Yeah.
I know, Paulus, you have brought this up many times.
Many times.
On many different airwaves and many different shows that we have done together. I've talked about it a little bit. Other sports, if a quarterback is 30% completion percentage, he ain't making it one season, let alone enough to consider it a career. If a guy shoots 30% from the field, not just the three-point line, but from the field in the NBA, that guy's going to be in the G League or not in the league at all. So it's not that you have to get guys to be that level, but you just have to get what they do best and utilize that in your lineup. The best person at doing that has been, is, and always will be Terry Francona. And that's why this team is not ever going to push a panic button like fans may, and that's why fans come from the word fanatics. And I get that way sometimes. You get that way sometimes.
Oh, no doubt.
We're not in those dugouts in those clubhouses. These guys are. They love playing for Terry. They're never going to push the panic button. They know they're always going to be in it. Peter, where are you at with this team? Any surprise to the start of this season?
Well, yes and no. So, unfortunately,
good way to stick on the fence.
I know. Well, dropping the first, the opener. It's just a kind of. I feel like I'm used to that, So
Right.
But I wasn't hitting the panic button because that's
Used to that in the city of Cleveland.
Yeah, you get that kind
you're
of
a Browns fan. You're plenty used to that.
Right. Well, you get that slow start.
Yeah.
I was concerned about the offense because it really didn't look like we had anything like clicking. And then all of a sudden, I think it was Easter Sunday. We were watching the game that they had. What was the final? They scored like 9 runs.
Oh, yeah.
9-3, I think.
Yeah,
it
9-3
was.
was the final. And it's like, wow, okay. Now, I got to watch that game because I was at my brother-in-law's and not trying to watch it on my YouTube TV. Just to,
You know what?
I just wanted to see Nick's. I want to see that vein on Nick's head pop out.
You know what? I'm gonna say wrap it up because we got to go 1 minute instant fire on MLB. So
Okay,
yeah.
but yes. Anyways, I'm not hitting the panic, but I'm excited. I'm not getting measured for a World Series shirt yet.
Right.
But I'm happy to see where they are.
Yeah.
And I stand by my earlier assessment that they're going to be over 500 this year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 500 or a little bit better this year for this team. But you brought up the point about being able to watch this team. Now, while I still have some concerns about the offense, today kind of helped, kind of stem the tide on those concerns because they got hits, timely hits, and it wasn't just by the home run. It wasn't feast or famine. It was doing the little things, taking advantage of mistakes. Small ball, what Terry Francona has been known for a long time. What I really am concerned about is how can we actually watch these games? Not that it's rough baseball to watch. Not everybody has the ability to actually watch these games. Now that, of course, Bally Sports has taken over the local markets for the Fox Sports local channels, if you have a cable provider, Spectrum, AT&T, you get those channels. They haven't opened up, and baseball hasn't opened up these local markets to YouTube TV or Hulu. So unless you got somebody's login, or you're finding loopholes to log into the app, or you find loopholes in MLB TV, especially MLB TV. They black out the local game.
Anything to screw over the fan. Anything to screw over the fan. MLB is the absolute worst. I am sorry. Like, you can check out, NFL Network. You can do anything else with any of the other programs. I'm sure the NBA doesn't have, issues like this. NFL clearly doesn't. Honestly, for the NFL, all you need is like Red Zone.
Right.
If you're doing anything, Red Zone's the greatest thing known to mankind. But we don't have any of these issues. Everything's on the local TV, everything like that. I get it because it's only 16, now going to be 17 games compared to 162. But come on. Like, get with the times. We're cutting the cable. I'm sorry. Everyone cuts the cable nowadays. I don't understand why the MLB has to be so far behind everything. Like, I'm not going to be able to watch these damn games unless I'm at the studio, basically. I've caught 3 of the first, 7 games? 8 games there for us. And it's all because I've been at the studio. I've been lucky enough to be working at the studio, and I catch, oh, look, Franmil got a home run. Oh, look, that happened. This happened. Like, I'm lucky enough to get to that. But without that, like, I'm sorry, I got, my Hulu. I was expecting to have it on Hulu. And then, apparently, my Hulu Live, and that's gone. It's ridiculous. I can't stand that. I was going to give MLB TV a try, their 7-day trial. And then you tell me that, it's restricted blackouts, local marketing. Screw that. Just screw you, baseball. I'm done with you.
Peter, are you able to see
Go
these games?
Tribe.
Go Tribe.
Go Tribe.
Go Tribe.
That's a heck of a way to end it.
Right.
No, that's just it. I have YouTube TV. I cut the cord, so I don't have Uverse or cable anymore because it was ridiculous what I was paying for and what I was getting.
Right.
And like Nick, I thought, I'm like, man, it's like $27 a month, and I get it because unlike football, there's a lot of games, but I don't get to have time to watch a game every night.
Right.
So it's not like that. It's really hard to justify that cost for me. Compared to going to a game, it's a great deal. But regardless, it's just frustrating to have that. And then I mentioned, I got charged for the Major League, the MLB app to listen to the games. And their app is so crappy, I can't figure, I try to sign in. I have apparently I must have had 2 different accounts at one time. Yeah. And neither one of them worked. They charged me for it. So
they'll charge you.
They took my money, but then I try to log in, and it's like all I get is the thing saying, "Please pay us more." I'm like, wait a minute. So I gotta take some time and figure this out because it's frustrating.
Just bastard coded bastards and bastard filling. That's what it is. That's the MLB in shorts. Go Tribe.
Real quick, Major League Baseball. Listen to me. Now, yes, I've been able to watch most of the games, and I feel fortunate for that. But I want a lot of people. I want my brothers here on set with me and my fellow Indians and baseball fans everywhere to be able to watch it. Like them, most of my stuff is through streaming apps, through the internet, through my smart TV and the apps we can add to the TV. Get with the times. It is 2021, not 1921, 2021. We're not going to the radio to listen all the time. If I'm in my car, you best believe I'm listening to Tom Hamilton and Tom Hamilton only. But if I have the ability to be in front of a TV or some sort of device, I want to be able to watch these games, and I want everybody else to be able to watch them too. Get with the program. Open up these games to MLB TV and local markets. Open up your channels to YouTube TV, Hulu, and beyond so that people can actually watch their baseball teams and enjoy baseball when we didn't get much of it last year. Go Tribe!
Go Tribe! There we go. Best way to end that one.
I didn't think there was gonna be a rant tonight, but man,
we got to move on. We got to move on.
Blood boiling, man. Blood boiling. God. But across the street from the Indians, who are in first right now, are the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are kind of in their feast or famine own type of season this year. sitting at 19-33, 12th in the Eastern Conference, 3.5 games back of the 10th seed, which gets you into that play-in tournament with seeds 7 through 10 in both conferences. They brought that from the bubble. I like that idea.
I love it.
I love the idea. But there's conversations about this team, what this team should do over the last month and a half of this season. And I know that on local airwaves this week, and I know he said it other times, Brian Windhorst, who writes and commentates on the NBA for ESPN, said that if the Cavs traded Larry Nance Jr., they could potentially get 2 first-round draft picks for him. Whether it's first, I'll ask you guys and our audience, would you do that for Larry Nance specifically, or is there a player on this team that would merit that kind of deal that you would be willing to get rid of on this team?
So call me crazy. I wouldn't do it. Once again, Larry Nance for 2 firsts, in most people's eyes, that's a steal. You would do that. I wouldn't, though, because he is one of your, cornerstone pieces that I feel like could really help you make the playoffs. Now, I don't know if he's going to be, I highly doubt he's going to be on the team the next time we make it to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals, holding up, holding up the O'Brien Trophy. I don't think that that's going to be happening anytime soon with Larry Nance on this team. However, I do think that he could be one of those cornerstone pieces that gets us back into prominence there for us. I think there's 4 people on this team that are solid players that you could get probably a good amount from right now. That is Colin Sexton. That is Darius Garland now, who has been balling out over the last week or so.
Questionable for tonight's game, but
and that's going to happen. You're going to get nicked up, everything like that. But, once again, Colin Sexton, Darius Garland, Larry Nance, and Jarrett Allen. I think that those 4 players right there are the cornerstones that you really want to have. Those are solid NBA players. I truly believe that. Then you throw on, Kevin Love. You trade him as soon as possible. Once again, I get it. He's come back. He's, scored a couple of points. Yay, golf clap, Masters week, good, golf clap there for you. But I just think that those are the 4 pieces that are really like the solid go-to players. Those are the only guys that are worth a damn on the team, honestly. I think that going forward, I truly do believe we're a top 5 piece away from making the playoffs and not getting to that 8, 9, 10 seed. I'm talking like 4 or 5 seed. I know the schedule doesn't, say it. I mean, we're 19-33 now or something like that. I know that that might sound crazy, but the Eastern Conference is that bad that we could actually make a jump if you get a top 5 pick in here and he produces like a top 5 pick. If that happens, the sky's the limit at that point in time. I truly do believe that you can make it to the probably 6, 5 seed right there next year, because I like the coaching. I like, some of the players. Once again, you got to get a couple more. I'd love to see another a veteran that can shoot on this team. I would love to see someone get picked up like that, but got to kind of go from there.
Peter, would you give up Larry Nance Jr. for 2 first-round picks?
It's a lot.
It is.
I think it's a lot, and honestly, it's a bird in the hand, right? Who knows how many first round picks get to the NBA and just are complete busts. We know what we have. He's something to build around. He's something that I think to help us continue to grow and get to where we want to be. I don't know. I just don't think it's that enticing.
Yeah. Larry Nance Jr. is a guy that you can build around. Now, unfortunately, he has dealt with injuries, and our motto on this show, and I know other people have this as well, your best ability is your availability.
No doubt.
He hasn't been available, but I'm still not giving up Larry Nance Jr. because I would compare his impact on and off the court to Jarvis Landry-esque, what he did for the Browns. Landry kind of started that culture change. He couldn't put the full stamp on it. They needed the coaching staff. They needed the front office to really get that rolling. But you had the player that was probably impacting other players in the locker room a little bit more than any coaching staff or anything like that, especially those first couple years he was here. Larry Nance Jr. is that guy, and a guy that does a lot in the community as well. He is Cleveland. Now, the fan in me says don't do it because Larry Nance Jr. grew up here. His dad played here. He's all about this area.
Right.
One of those guys that's, been pounding the table for Cleveland even when he wasn't playing here. But for what this guy can bring and the uncertainty of these drafts, like when are these picks going to be? What draft are these picks going to be in? This year, people are talking about that it could be a deep draft. But if you don't get a 2021 first-round draft pick to add to what you have this year, then you could be in a draft where it's like one guy and that's it. And the one guy is probably could be 13th, 14th best in better drafts than that year.
Sure.
It's so unpredictable. It's only 2 rounds. Now, 2 picks in an NBA draft, that's basically like having 3 or 4 first-round draft picks in a first round of the NFL because you have so many other rounds to fill needs. If you have 1 first-rounder, well, you can still get starters in the second and third round. You go to the second round in the NBA draft, you're getting a guy that's going overseas, stashing him overseas so you can keep that contract, keep his rights if he decides to come over, or it's a developmental type project.
All developmental in the second round.
You're not getting Isaiah Thomas at 60. And Isaiah Thomas, only a couple years there.
You're not getting Carlos Boozer at 31 or whatever it was.
No.
Like that's not happening anymore.
No, those things just don't happen, and it's just the nature of the beast. It's the nature of the game of basketball. Larry Nance Jr., I'm not doing that for. Is there a player on this team that I would? I don't know if anybody else would merit that. You got your young pieces, but not giving up on Colin Sexton, not giving up Darius Garland.
Right. Yeah.
You've invested in them.
Do you believe that they are cornerstone pieces? Do you think the 4 guys that I mentioned are cornerstone pieces, or do you think that it's less than that?
I believe they are cornerstone pieces.
Okay.
Yes, because you've started to see, now that both guys are healthier, able to play on the court together, what they can be. Now, you said that, if you can get a top 5 guy to play like a top 5 guy, that would really bolster where this rebuild is going. And that's for real. Because Isaac Okoro was the 5th pick. I'm not saying he's a bust or anything, but what he does best is on the defensive end. You get some flashes on the offensive side, but he plays stellar defense, yet this team gets blown out a lot still. So it's a stalwart defender in a defenseless system. It doesn't work. So you need that stalwart defender to be a part of the system so that you have one guy locked down, and the rotation, the attention to detail, the communication on the defensive end of the floor is so in tune that guys are going to be flying around, whether you switch on screens, you want to get under screens, over screens, stay with your man, play almost like a zone or a shell of the rest of the 4. It's one guy playing defense, and you're hoping that you get a stellar defensive performance by everybody else. And that's why they're so feast or famine. So you need a guy that's going to play well on the defensive side and the offensive side that can go get his own, like Colin and Darius have shown that they can do and create for others. You need that all-around top 5 player to get this rebuild on track. And it's unfortunate, but you can't even watch the Cavs right now either.
I know.
I mean, they're part of the same network.
I know. It's awful, man. And I have been able to catch a couple of the Cavs games once again at work. And it's the only time that I really get to do anything like that. And it just sucks. Like I'm sick and tired of, and maybe it's on me. Maybe it's on me for cutting the cable, maybe a season too early or something like that, because we cut it earlier this past year, as I'm sure a lot of Americans did, because I don't know, we were in some sort of pandemic, I believe. A lot of people were trying to save money somewhere.
I'm still trying to save money. Pandemic, no pandemic. I'm trying to save some money.
And you know what? I still get screwed because I'm paying for all these streaming services. It's the same freaking thing over and over again. I just can't win. So.
Go ahead,
Peter.
I know.
Peter's over here. We're bitching and moaning. Peter's over here. He's like, yeah, well, you don't have a mortgage. You don't have a mortgage.
You don't got a...
Don't get started there.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, but it's a good point though. But I disagree with you because people have been cutting the cord for a long time, and there's no excuse.
I'm just saying last
Yeah.
year was
Yeah,
like,
well, it was huge, yeah.
obviously.
But there's no excuse for for Major League Baseball, the NBA, NFL, any major sports network,
right.
to be like, I wonder if people want to see this on streaming.
It's the whole thing.
It's
The whole
the
reason
whole-
why I
yeah.
got Hulu Live
Yeah.
was because they had Fox Sports Net.
That's why I'm paying for YouTube TV.
Yeah.
There's a couple of shows my kids like to watch and I like to watch, but you know what? For $70 a month for YouTube TV,
Yeah.
What is it, $6 to $10 for Hulu?
Mhm.
I can record them and watch them the next day.
Yep.
I pay that money because I want Buckeyes, Browns, Indians, because I get really crappy reception where I live.
Yeah.
Because I'm right by the lake. I'm at Lake County. It's
Yeah.
just like a weird dead zone.
Beach
right there.
living.
Yeah,
yes.
beach living, right? But
Erosion living.
it's just a bad spot for reception there. And I've gotten like the huge digital antennas and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Nothing. Like I couldn't get anything. But yeah, so I'm paying this money to be able to watch the sports, and then it's like they just chip away here and they chip away there, and it's like, all right, well, I haven't, I'm not paying all this freaking money.
I know.
Yeah.
For
crazy.
nothing.
Well, and if
So-
you want to do all the stuff you're talking about, like record it, watch it later, like
Yeah.
all these added features, you're still paying less than $100. You want to get that with cable, you're paying. That's the reason why so many people cut the cord,
Yep.
because you get shafted on
Right.
how much money you shell out for every extra little
Couldn't
thing.
say it any better.
I'm paying about the same than when I had cable and had the internet through Spectrum. But I'm paying because I have like super high speed internet at home for all
Yeah.
the stuff I do with video.
Mhm.
So while I'm still paying about the same, my internet speeds are like way better. I can watch YouTube TV on my phone. I can watch it on a tablet. We can have
Yeah.
it here in the studio here if
Right.
you want to watch something. I'm not
If
tied
you want a
to
podcast,
Yeah.
come right on in. So
right. And
Yeah.
we just can't watch the Indians right now. But
Well, everybody just
Right. Yeah, I
everybody,
know.
everybody that opened the door just closed it on you.
But I don't have to pay all the extra money
Yeah.
for digital cable boxes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because that was getting it super expensive. I mean,
That's-
what, $10-15 a month for a cable box, and you have to have it now.
Yeah.
So it was ridiculous.
You feel like you get a lot more useful stuff by cutting the cord than you do by having that cord coming through the wall. And it's a shame. These networks, everybody needs to get on board with it. It's a waste of money. But what's not a waste of money and what you can still watch are Browns games. And,
Thank God for them.
And you'll be able to watch the NFL draft, which will be live here in the great old city of Cleveland, Ohio. I actually drove past going to the game on Friday, got off at 9th, saw that scaffolding for where the stage is going to be behind the Rock Hall. Looks stellar. Looks like a great setup that they're going to have down there. But speaking about the draft, the Browns have kind of done their work in free agency, and now we can start adding some of that young depth to this roster. But as you look across NFL draft boards, getting an initial look, is there one guy? And Paulus brought this question up, and this is a good question. I know you've been trying to You've been clamoring for this for a while. So
I
on
have been.
VTL, we give you your just due.
Appreciate it.
Is there, and again, to our listening audience, our viewing audience, you can chime in as well on the streams, on Twitter, on Facebook here tonight. Is there a player on the draft board, regardless of pick, how good, how bad the team may be, and if you're a fan of another team, you can chime in as well. If you could have any player out of this draft, who would it be?
Right.
Paulus, you get first crack. It's your question. The floor is yours.
So the reason for this question is because we're picking 26th. We have no idea what we're going to do with the pick. We might trade back. We might trade up.
Who's going to be there?
Who's going to be there? I know that we were talking about possibly doing maybe getting the cornerback J.C. Horn. I just saw a mock draft. He is skyrocketing.
8.
You saw 8? I saw
saw
10.
8.
I saw
Okay.
10 to Dallas.
I saw 8. Walter Football had him 8.
Okay, so he's skyrocketing. So J.C. Horn's probably not going to be there anymore now. But that all being said, it all depends on your mindset of this. So some people might say, hey, I like Trevor Lawrence a lot better than I like Baker. That's not me. We'll give hot takes later, but I got a spicy meatball of a hot take out there. But
we got time before
about
draft.
Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that just about the week before draft day there for us. But I do believe that Baker, I don't have to worry about that. The one person in this draft that I would love to have on this team, and I know we don't need this spot, tight end. Give me Kyle Pitts on this Browns team.
Let's go pick.
I'm telling you, Hall of Famer. He'd be the next Hoff there for us. He is so damn good. And I truly believe if he doesn't, and knocking on wood, I hope the kid doesn't get injured. Because I truly do believe wherever he goes, no matter who his quarterback is, he will be a stud of all studs. And I think he's going to go to someone like Atlanta, which would be unbelievable. That offense would be unstoppable right there. They have nobody on defense. They need to go defense there. But getting Kyle Pitts to me on this Browns team, now, once again, we have Austin Hooper. We have four different, at this point in time, we'd have four different tight ends that you could possibly look into it and go from there.
The depth on offense is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Let alone the talent that starts.
Right. But if you put Kyle Pitts on this offense, Baker's completion percentage would instantly go up to 65 to 70%. He'd have the guy in the middle of the field that catches literally everything and can burn literally anyone. He is the perfect specimen out there on the football field. I would love to have Kyle Pitts on this team. I know that this is the beauty of this question, is because we've loaded up so much on free agency defensive wise that I feel confident in saying, screw it, let's just go offense right here with this pick and go Kyle Pitts. I think Kyle Pitts could be a Hall of Fame type of player, depending on injury, obviously, but wherever this kid goes, he's going to be special. And I'm telling you right now, I know, now I got to say it, Dynasty League that I'm going to be playing in, I'm getting Kyle Pitts. If I got to go in early to get this dude, he's my dude. I'm gonna get him and ride him for the next 15 years in that Dynasty League, because that kid's special.
Have you guys had that initial draft yet?
Not yet. We had to push it. It was originally Super Bowl Sunday, but I had to work that day. It just didn't line up. And then we were like, you know what? COVID's still here. Let's wait until the numbers start going down a little bit more. So we're going to be doing it in probably June, July. Kind of go from there.
Well,
everyone's vaccinated. So.
Okay, I'm just asking because I know even if you guys did that, then there's always the rookie element of the dynasty draft.
So because this is going to be the initial draft here for us, it is going to be a 25 player draft. There's there for us. It's crazy. How far deep it's going to be for us. But after that, once a year, it'll be a 5-player draft. So it'll be a lot easier after this initial draft.
Each rookie class.
Kyle Pitts is special, man, though. I'm telling you.
See, I watched some Florida football games this year. Yeah. I've watched a lot of college football, even if it's not Ohio State. I remember Pitts. I don't remember Trask. Now, the fact that I can even bring out Kyle Trask's name, the quarterback, is crazy. But I don't remember plays he made. I remember the plays that Pitts made out there. That guy is legit, and that is a really good pick. However, I will tell you, just as brotherly advice, you either cemented yourself getting Pitts in the draft because everybody else considers you the Jinx King in that league that listens to this show, or somehow they may think, well, maybe this is the one where his fortunes could turn around, so we got to take those fortunes from him, so they take him before.
Hey, if
you either cemented or completely lost.
Hey, if they want to leave him on the board, I will take him, no doubt, no doubt about it. I love that kid. He's going to be special.
He is going to be special. Peter, is there a player or even a position, any position, that you want the Browns to go after in this draft?
Well, unlike Paul, so I think I think we have a lot of depth at offense. I mean, I agree that we do, but I think we still
agree.
What I would disagree is I still like to see more depth at defense.
Okay.
And so, looking over the top players, I'm looking at Micah Parsons out of Penn State. Because I talked about it before. I feel like we really, really just need to have a much stronger linebacking core, and I think that'll help.
Yep.
Because the offense I'm not that worried about. Knock on wood, right?
Yeah.
But I would really like to see them bolster the attack on the defense and have, like I said, Ohio State used to be linebacker right?
Sure.
You had such huge linebacking cores, and they all went to the NFL, and so I would like to see that. I think that position would be a good one to fill.
Yeah,
Micah Parsons, that's another good one. I've seen,
no doubt.
I've seen him mocked kind of in the late teens kind of area
if he
there.
falls 26, I'm all for it. There's a couple of people, if they fall to you, you have to get them.
Yeah, I'm looking at one here that's got him going to like the Giants at 11, and but I've seen some other ones where he
I was gonna say
higher.
he's a teens guy. There's no way he goes to 26, but if he did, yeah.
I mean, we'll break down.
Always hope.
Yeah, always.
And once again, this is whoever you want. This is the whole reason for this question.
Any player, no matter if you think that they're going to fall or not.
And Peter, like you said, I agree. Our offense is Super Bowl caliber.
Why not add to it?
Why not get a couple more Super Bowls?
If you can pick from the whole class, why not pick any of them,
It's basically adding Travis Kelce to your team right now. A younger Travis Kelce. Do you know how old Travis Kelce is, by the way?
26?
He's like 32.
Oh.
Yeah. He's older.
Oh, he graduated before me?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's 31 or 32. I know him and Gronk are the same age, which that's pretty weird to think about. But he just developed a little bit later. And he's been great the last, 6-7 years or something?
Yeah.
He's a Hall of Famer now.
Yeah.
Especially after the year. Probably another year or two cement that their form, especially if they get another Super Bowl. But, once again, you add Kyle Pitts, that's adding Travis Kelce to your team right now.
I've started getting used to the top players, being younger and younger than me, graduating after I did from high school and college. So
Asante Samuel Jr.'s in this draft. I remember watching him for the Patriots. It's crazy. I remember watching his dad. It's nuts.
Where does time go? Really, where does time go?
Everywhere.
That's a philosophical question on it that always takes us off track. I shouldn't have asked. Sorry.
You're good.
Rewind. But yeah, I mean, we'll break down this first round and what could happen. The quarterbacks are probably going to dictate a lot, and how guys may fall, not because of talent or question marks about talent or red flags about injuries, but because teams are moving up and moving around, and good players are going to fall to the Browns at 26. If I could have any player from this draft, Peter kind of stole mine, Micah Parsons, because I'm still defensive-minded for this team. But if I were to open it up, Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith, the wide receivers. We don't need wide receivers either. But those two guys, Jamar Chase especially, I mean, we're kind of LSU here at
no
Berea, but the dude is legit. And it's one reason why him and Devontae Smith and the depth of this wide receiver class. It's probably one reason why, Ohio State, some of those receivers kind of stayed,
Oh, yeah. Ohio State receivers stayed, and I think it's a smart move because I think that they're all going to be first-round talents next year. And I'm sure Chris Olave, he was teetering towards that first round for sure. But those guys are going to be special for sure.
I saw Olave kind of, being talked about more second round. So, he's like, these guys they're going to get their money. Let me see if I can make some. But you also think that it has to do with the confidence he has in the quarterbacks they have at Ohio State too. And they're always pro ready. So he's going back. He's staying for his senior year. He's getting his education. He's going to make himself some more money. But Jamar Chase, meh.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I love what Jamar Chase threw out there. He only played 1 year. I mean, he was 19 years old, and he was the best player out on the field. Every time, Joe Burrow and the LSU Tigers went out on the field. Joe looked at him 24/7, and deservingly so. Obviously, I mean, the guy's special. The guy's super special. I know that the Bengals, Joe Burrow was talking about.
Yeah, it's what can you believe in now, especially with
it's silly season.
Silly season. Some, where there's smoke, there's fire. There's some that where it's there's really no smoke at all, but people just want to bring it out there. The ridiculous stuff about Justin Fields is not gonna, go down that road again either. For you, Paul, it's just a quick question. Would the Bengals make a mistake at 5 going for Jamar Chase instead of trying to protect their franchise quarterback?
I personally think so, because I think that you need to have Joe Burrow's already lost his what was his left leg.
Yeah.
I mean, like that leg was done for, and like who knows when he's going to be back.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they're projecting he'll be back this year, but it's a hell of a recovery. To come back from. His leg was snapped, basically. Not as bad as Alex Smith or Dak Prescott, anything like that. But that
Joe
Theismann, nowhere near that. But yeah, it was bad though. You don't see quarterbacks getting hit like that, and the reason for that is because your offensive line was that doo-doo. It was that bad. So you definitely need to be able to step up your game on the offensive line. I know that they're getting, what was his name? I think it's Jonah Williams back, and they not drafted, but they picked up another offensive lineman. I can't remember who it was, but you need to load up on dudes like that, because, and Penei Sewell apparently is supposed to be like this amazing, like one of the best left tackles they have ever seen before. That's what I haven't scouted him, but that's what people are saying. Like Kuiper, McShay, a lot of guys that are NFL Network as well. They're saying that he is like super duper good. So if he's that sort of good, let's say and I'm not saying he's Joe Thomas good, but let's say he's on par with like baby Joe Thomas. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe he's that good. If he's that good, you got to protect him. You absolutely need to protect him. I get the intrigue of getting Jamar Chase, and Bengals fans might want Jamar Chase just like I want Kyle Pitts. But the thing is that you need to be smart. You have a lot of holes, Bengals. You have a ton of holes. You need to load up and save Joe Burrow's life, because if you wreck him, you don't deserve a quarterback. You don't deserve a team if you can't protect your franchise.
If you can't protect the franchise, there'll be no franchise to root for.
True.
And there will be no, Bengals fans will probably jump off the bandwagon a little bit sooner than Browns fans would. We've endured a lot. Dysfunction loves company. Right. And if the Bengals get it wrong protecting the franchise, dysfunction will go down to the Queen City as it leaves.
No doubt.
Good old Northeast Ohio. Now, to wrap things up this evening, before we do that, if you guys have seen, I've been drinking out of my mug this evening.
Voice of the Land mug. I forgot mine at home, so that sucks. That sucks for me. You got the tall boy though.
I do.
You got the tall boy. I got the short, stubby mug. Like me, short and stubby. So yeah, no, I love the mugs. I loved how they turned out. They look fantastic. They really do.
I guess this one fits me because I'm tall and slender.
I'm short and stout. Here's my handle.
Here's my spout. Oh boy.
We'll go from there.
Yeah, but if you guys want a mug like this, or you want some T-shirts, long sleeve shirts, even a hat, the hat is still on its way. I said in the month of April I'd be sporting some new headgear. Don't worry, it's on its way, and Peter made some adjustments to it, so I'm going to get the fresh look here very soon on the show. Head on over to voiceofland.com. You can also check out all of our old episodes, and you can go through the confines of our website to look through that. But up across the top, you hit on the link for shop, and you pick up all of the gear that we have there and one of these great mugs. You can get a mug without our mugs if you don't want to look at our faces, but if you do, cheers to you. Voiceland.com, your one-stop shop for all VTL gear. As we do wind down the show, though, Masters is going on, and that's kind of one of those penultimate sporting events. Do we have an official green jacket winner?
We do. Hideki Matsuyama, I believe. Matsuyama. There we go.
Come on, Jordan Klimek. Come on, he gave you the pronunciation.
You know what? Like
our buddy Jordan. I
know Jordan. Shout out Jordan. But yeah, he is the first Asian-born player to ever, Japanese-born player to ever win the Masters. So congrats to him.
Congrats to Matsuyama.
I believe he won. I want to say it was 11 under there for
Okay,
us, I believe. So
around, even around, what is that, 70 or 72 at Augusta is
it's
even?
10 under. 10
Okay.
under. He was 1 over on the
Okay.
day. 1 by 1 stroke over Will, I believe, Will Zalvatores.
Latoris?
What?
I don't know. Zalatoris?
Oh, Zalvatores.
There's no V. Is there? I thought
Zalatoris?
I thought it was, yeah, Zalatoris.
Was I saying Zalva?
Yeah, you were saying Zalva.
Throw some V's in there, so why not?
I
I thought you said something else.
No.
So I'm glad that we didn't go.
Where
there.
is your mind at tonight?
Whoa, you don't want to know, sir.
Oh, boy. All right, well, to get things back on track as it is my responsibility to do.
That it is.
Masters is one of those penultimate sporting events, and as fans, it's one of those bucket list, and golf fans everywhere, it's one of those bucket list things that they want to attend as fans. But Paulus, you kind of posed this question as well, and we kind of talked about it throughout the week as we were planning for the show, and looking at it from the angle of whether you're playing or somehow participating as a player, as a coach, general manager, front office, whatever. Is there a penultimate sporting event or any sporting event that you feel like you've always wanted to participate in, just never had that chance, never got to that point? Peter, I'll start with you on this one. Is there a sporting event that you wish you could have participated in or feel like you could be really good at?
See, that's a tough question for me because there's really two, and it's hard to pick one because I think being able to be a part of like a Super Bowl would be just an amazing experience. Sure. And one of the reasons I lean towards that too is because it's a single game, right? It's a single event.
Yeah.
On the other hand, the excitement, especially like we felt here in 2016 during the World Series run.
Yeah.
That's where it's one of those things where.
So Game 7 or Super Bowl.
See, and that's where it's hard to make up your mind. But I think
you're riding this fence.
I know I am.
You are riding that fence.
At this point, I would say I might have to go with the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Just because, especially a Browns Super Bowl.
Now you're not just because you participate, and we're not saying if you win, like what you could win or anything like that. I can go to the Masters and lose by 1 billion strokes, but at least I got to play. That's the that's the sort of thing. But no, it's
no. What I'm saying,
Super Bowl?
If it was Super Bowl, I think just the atmosphere there, I think would just be. I don't think you could top that.
Yeah.
Just the energy in that stadium, especially kickoff when
no doubt.
The flashing lights of all the cameras and stuff, when everybody's able to be in those stadiums.
And the nice thing is because I'd be a part of it, I would go in the locker room at halftime, and I wouldn't have to watch the horrible halftime shows.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Very good point.
We said the hot takes were there. Didn't say how you could be ready for them. Just come at you from time to time.
No doubt.
If we want to get him off the fence sometimes, all we got to do is probably turn one of these cameras. Get him on camera.
Good point, yeah.
I was actually asked why I'm not on camera. I said, well, I don't really want to break one of my cameras. So
if it hasn't broken, whether it's on me, I think you're safe.
I mean, us two are on camera every single week. Your cameras are safe already.
I think you're safe.
I think you're good, right. Peter. Paulus, what do you got? What do you got, man?
Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Easy. Easy. Nathan's hot dog eating contest, 4th of July weekend. You throw me in with any of those guys. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to win. I might not even place within, because I think they got like 10 or 12 people up on the stage.
Yeah.
I might come in dead last. I probably would come in dead last. But God, to be throwing down some Nathan hot dogs on national TV. Coney Island. Hell yeah. Greatest 10 minutes ever.
Oh, man, my family.
That's what she said.
But don't. The Office.
No doubt. But yeah, no, for real though, that I would love to do that. I would absolutely love to do that. The sodium count though I'm already fat enough. That might crush me. That would destroy me. So I talked about this with our good buddy Mark. Shout out Mark if you're watching. What would the over under Vegas over under? I said 14.5. in 10 minutes
For you?
for bun and hot dog. Yeah.
I was going to give you 16 and a half.
Okay.
I was going to give you 16 and a half.
Mark thinks it. Mark and I, we were talking about this. I think he agrees. Like, that's a pretty good number, 14 and a half.
Yeah.
He thinks it'd be under for me, but
I like
I
that
think
range.
I could do it.
That's a good range to set
Yeah.
right there, Peter.
Wow, that's. I think I don't know. I think you could do over 14.
I think I can too.
I think you could.
Grew up on mac and cheese and hot dogs like literally every day. So,
I don't know.
clearly.
I don't know how long those hot dogs will stay with you.
Well, that's the thing. I
After
think
the
you gotta hold them down. I think for like 15 minutes or a half
Yeah.
hour or
Is it-
something
is
like
it that
that.
long?
That's
Okay.
that's the rule. I think is how that goes. So
Yeah, I wasn't sure what the time.
Yeah.
I knew there was a time limit, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
What it
yeah.
was.
Oh, I'm not barfing up those bad boys. You know, those bad boys are sticking with me.
They keep saying unofficial throughout like the entire
Yeah.
broadcast, and especially when it's done,
Yeah.
they're still saying unofficial. You broke the record, but you got to
Right.
wait to see.
Yeah.
But Joey Chestnut's always far in front of the pack. That even if he,
Idol. Joey Chestnut, ridiculous.
It is.
And not just with the hot dogs. He does wings. He does all of that stuff. There's some guy that I follow on Facebook as well. He does like all these challenges. I think his name's Randy Santel. And like he goes
Yeah.
around the world. He's done like almost 1,000 different food challenges. I'm like, dude, you got the life. But you
Yeah.
got to work out
Yeah, you do.
24/7. You got to do everything proper, or else you're gonna die in like half that time.
There's athleticism to what
No
those
doubt.
people do. I honestly wish I could watch Major League Eating a little bit more
Yeah.
because my family used to hate that I had to every single July 4th I had to turn on the hot dog eating contest. I had to watch it. I had to
Yeah.
watch it. But like you hear these records that they set throughout the year from one Nathan's contest to the next, and like what records they hold in the different foods, like birthday cake. Like I want to watch a contest where people are eating birthday cake and how
Right.
much they can bring down. Well, you know what? Maybe they'll be the ones to kind of show Major League Baseball and NBA how to get with those streaming networks, make it a little bit more accessible to
Love it.
Major League Eating.
How about you?
My sporting event. Now, of course, to attend to as a fan, when I first read it, I was like thinking attend to as a fan. I didn't
Sure.
read clearly enough, so I
It's
was
okay.
like, well, this weekend's WrestleMania. I have bucket list is to go to a WrestleMania.
Get choked out by Triple H.
Hey, I mean, participate in it. I could do that. Just take a bump on that mat. I know it's not gonna feel good, but as much as it is choreographed and they're open about it,
Yeah.
it still hurts.
Oh, no doubt.
Hey, in front of like 75, 100,000 screaming fans, I'll do it. I don't care. But if I were to really participate in an event, it's the World Cup. Because soccer is the penultimate. We talked about penultimate sporting events. Soccer is my penultimate sport, and the World Cup is kind of where everybody, and even in America, everybody kind of tunes in to watch at least some of it. Soccer's been at the top for a while now. Probably at this point in my life, it'd be more as a coach, on the sideline, but playing, coaching, somehow, some way, being on one of those fields. It'd be great to go to one or go overseas to an English Premier League game as a fan, but to be on the pitch, on the field, and participate.
What position?
Midfield.
Midfield?
Out like wing. Now, depending on the formation you go with, it could end up being a forward or a midfield, but on the outside part of the field, on the right side, because I'm not someone that's going to score, but I'm going to set you up with some good crosses, and I'm going to get you set up in the right position. That nice little through ball up towards the goal. Get that striker right there in front. Put it away. I can't finish very well. I can pass pretty well though.
This coming in over Twitter here for us. Your fiance Jana. If Bad Bunny can wrestle at WrestleMania, you could easily.
Bad Bunny was so good last
Really?
night. Yes. I
Yeah.
mean, like, the dude has been training for a while. You could tell.
Yeah.
But, and I know it's choreographed and everything,
Yeah.
but the faces that Mike the Miz Mizanin from Cleveland, Ohio, and Bad Bunny's tag team partner, they call him Damian Priest in WWE.
Okay.
Like the faces they made when he did the Canadian like sunset flip or whatever on the outside of the ring. I mean, like shock and awe. Like breaking character shock and awe.
Yeah.
Like this dude's jumping off the top rope. He's got DDTs. Great. It was a great night all around. It really picked up as the night went on. And I do want to shout out the women and WWE. The main card event last night, because they're doing 2 nights now. Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's title. First time 2 black women headlining a WrestleMania and main eventing WrestleMania. The crowd, like goosebumps. They were both close to tears, and they put on one hell of a show at the end.
Good.
Women's wrestling, pro wrestling, is right up there with men, if not above. Like the attention to detail and just the technical side of the wrestling and the finishes, the kick out on the finishes.
Right.
It's those like goosebump type matches with now his history making, outside the ring history making type goosebump moments. It was so cool to see. And night 2 about to kick off, so I'm gonna be heading out of here very, very soon. But so with that is going to wrap it up for this edition of the Voice of the Land. We want to thank everyone who tuned in tonight, and of course, find us on Twitter at VTL_pod. Have those sports conversations with us throughout the week. Anything that you caught on to, you watch again, or you listen to throughout the week. You got takes on them? Send them our way. We hit you with some hot takes tonight. Hit us with yours throughout the week. But for my brother Nick Paulus, our producer extraordinaire Peter Tellep, I am Kevin Arnold, reminding everyone out there, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game, and we truly love you all 3,000. We will see you all next week live at 7 p.m. on the Big Play Network.